First of all, I love it. Quick question, though. Am I panicked about the fire, or am I being brave for everyone else?
The fire. It's a fire sale.
Oh. Okay, I didn't, well, let's give it a shot. Oh my God! We're having a fire sale! Oh, the burning! It burns me! Evacuate all the school children! Oh, me! This isn't a fever! Sing, Greg! Can't even see where the knob is! And scene.
Would you like to try that a little simpler, maybe?
No.
TBTL.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
It's Friday. Gonna get down on Friday.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Sex, money, power, fire, choking, being dragged behind a speedboat. It's all the same thing.
Please refrain from scolding us for our approach. Our approach is legitimate.
That was great. That was good. You went for it. I appreciate that.
What's that drop that's like, you're doing a good job, sweetie. What you do is so important.
Sweetie, have a good show. What you do is so important.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
The vibes will be the illest, and the jams, ridic.
My name's Luke Burbank. I'm your host.
I'm a professional. Look it up in the book.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hills studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia.
Bring it back home, baby. Bring it back home.
Nice to be back here on an absolutely beautiful Friday. The sky is blue. My bagel is Jewish. I don't know how that phrase goes. The river is placid. There are people gunk-holing on the river, by the way. That's how we know summer is here. There's a sailboat that's been out in this little kind of protected area since last night, and we know that...
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
Summer times are here, as is episode 4748 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
And we have a big announcement on the show today.
Attention, everybody, madams and Miss Waz.
Big announcement about the upcoming TBTL-a-Thon and our plans for that. It's going to be a very fun week of hanging out together and keeping TBTL rolling. And yeah, big news on that. First, though, we got to introduce this guy, longest-running Cobra of the show. Maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships.
Two bros, broing it up.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. When gunk-holing is the second most problematic thing that you say in an intro.
The show is early. The show is young, my friend.
The show is off to a hot start. Now, I have a feeling, based on what I know about you, you might want to explain why you were riffing on
the absolutely not.
the phrase that we were talking about before the show.
Well, let me bring on our
special guest,
our colleague and #1 New York Knicks correspondent,
hey, Romano.
Mr. John Sklarov, to the program. Hello, John.
My mayor Muslim, my bagel's Jewish, my Saturday Night Live, Knicks in 5. Let's go.
That's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, yesterday I tried to riff on that, and I went with my banker is Jewish, which is problematic for so many reasons. John was in the sound check quick to remind me that it's my bagel is Jewish, which I then was hoping that was equally racist to my banker is Jewish, but it's not. It turns out it's not racist at all. It's just commenting on the fact that many bagels are, come from, a sort of a Jewish culinary background. My banker is Jewish. A lot of problems with that, and I apologize.
Well, the funny thing about it, though, is I'm like this a little bit, but you're like this a lot more.
I swear to God, it was my B word something. That was my brain,
now you're saying
what my brain
B-word?
was doing yesterday.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
B word.
Yeah. B words in Paris, like you said yesterday.
You have this.
You wouldn't stop saying yesterday on the show, Andrew.
This overwhelming drive when you realize you've sort of misspoken or something, and it lives so large in your head that, and we've talked about this on the show. I mean, for years now, you'll sometimes sort of just like lean into it more and more because you can't get it out of your head. So then you keep, I don't know, restating it or Burbanking it, as it's sometimes been called. But what's funny is when the conversation was off air, yet you felt the need to Burbank it on air, it just sort of left even maybe a few more question marks in the listener's mind.
It's the real my shirts already explain the situation kind of moment. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
I clearly have been processed. I told John I've been like for 23 hours thinking about that. And literally thinking like, well, I don't know, bagel's also kind of not okay. It's like, no, it's fine actually. What I said was not okay.
I'm blanking now because I'm putting myself on the spot and not coming up with anything. But it is my belief that I have at least one moment like that with every show that lives 24 hours. And even on the weekend, it probably only lives 24 hours and then I move on. But like, I wish I'm sure there was something that I said in yesterday's show that lived with me as I went about my puttering day. And I'm sure there's always one of those things. Mine tend to be less anti-Semitic, but like generally speaking, there's always something.
Right, you tend to be pretty Zionist with the stuff that you're saying.
Oh my God.
Anyway, what a fun show today.
That makes me, honestly, Andrew, that makes me feel a little bummed for you because I have not enjoyed the last 23 hours. I do not ruminate on stuff I've said on the show, generally speaking. It whiffs right out of my brain, except that. And right when I said it for the rest of the show yesterday, I was like, I don't think that's how that goes. And then later, I saw somebody saying some version of it or whatever the right way, and I was like, oh no. And then that's why I constructed this narrative where it was like, but also bagel is not okay. So what I said was not okay, but bagel is not okay. And then literally John's face appeared on Riverside and he said, my bagel is Jewish. That was the first 5 words out of his mouth.
Really true. I will say this.
I was hoping nobody noticed.
It is fun to have the gang together, though. John, it's been a while since you've been on the phone.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
With us.
Yeah,
nice
I'm glad
to see you, man. How you feeling, by the way, about your Knickerbockers?
On top of the world. Okay, like I'm 40. I've been like sentient for most of those years, and a Knicks fan for pretty much the entire time I've been sentient, right? And so, other than a few years, like in the mid to late '90s, when the Knicks were a little competitive, or more than little, they went to 2 finals appearances, lost them both. This team's been pretty dreadful my whole life. And so it's like, I know a lot of people out there, Andrew, I'm looking at you, like, you're like, well, you're a Yankees fan, so you know what joy is as a sports fan. But like, I try to be a reasonable Yankees fan. And so like, I don't expect my team to win every year. I don't like have this air of arrogance, like, which I do think a lot of Yankees fans do have, to be quite honest. And so, like, it's like to have my team, this team that has been so bad for so long, right on the precipice of like winning it all. It's incredible. And
would you say that it's a bigger deal for you? Obviously, the Yankees have won a bunch of World Series, but would you say like the Knicks winning the NBA Finals is a bigger sports deal to you than the Yankees winning the World Series?
For me, yes, especially because as I'm getting older,
Bacher is Jewish.
My Bacher's. I'm becoming more and more of a Knicks, like a basketball fan. The older I get, I don't know, like I still watch baseball and I'll still root for the Yankees, but like I'm watching more and more basketball, and so like yes, I also I want to say this too, like because I think it's been you guys were talking about like this, not to dominate the show from the start here, but like you guys are talking about like the cultural zeitgeist of the Knicks and the Spurs, and Andrew, you were talking about you and Genevieve's experience with it, like people that don't even care about basketball really, or certainly the NBA. I think there's a couple things that are really also a part of this too. One, the New York has the Jets and the Giants. It has the Yankees and the Mets, but it has the Knicks, right? Like there's the Rangers and the Islanders, but it's the Knicks. And like that's a unifier for New York City.
They're the only one that plays in Manhattan too, of the teams you've mentioned too, which I feel right.
Yeah, of the teams I mentioned, that's the Rangers. The Rangers are also
the Rangers. Yeah, I'm not a hockey guy,
but yeah, like I mean, they are New York City's, like New York's team, right? In a way that none of those other teams are, and so like that's unifying the city. And the state, and fans.
Yeah, the watch parties and
the
stuff,
watch parties,
are just so joyful.
You just wouldn't have that, I think, for like necessarily any of the other teams. And the other thing too, and this is like not to get like political or whatever, but like I definitely been having like this FOMO of like being from New York and like watching the Mondani stuff happen, and like people are so joyful.
Did you see that clip of him in the bar?
I've seen all the clips.
Yeah, that was a dumb question. Have you seen it, Andrew?
No, I haven't. Tell me.
Mondani just slipped into a bar. This is for Game 4, and just like when OG puts it back, somebody just like pans their phone to Mamdani just in the background of a very regular ass bar, freaking out.
Oh, that's so great.
Awesome.
And so
and
there's
putting
like,
the game on all the kiosks and everything around the city. I heard
at
about
the bus
that. Like,
stops.
yeah, that's I've been thinking about that a lot. About you just said you don't want to get into politics, but somebody was posting something about like something another politician was doing, another Democrat, but they were just saying that like this isn't it, man. The joyful liberalness of Mamdani's New York is where it's at. Like that's the message. That's the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was getting to, Andrew. It's like this is like the FOMO I have, where I love the Twin Cities, I love St. Paul, I love being here, but like I'm watching from afar this place that I have so much love and appreciation for. Just be so celebratory about like people, like everyday people are being helped by these policies. They're like fixing the problems of the city. And on top of that, this team that everyone loves is having this magical and like truly historic. I was listening to an NBA podcast yesterday where they're breaking down the numbers. Like this Knicks playoff run is like among one of the greatest of all time, like statistically. And so it's like they are like having this incredible postseason in the backdrop of like New York is thriving and everyone is joyful. Like that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
And just
except
it's so
all
awesome
of the
to
millionaires
watch.
have left New York. I mean, that's the hard. That's
except
the bummer.
all
part.
the ones that were sitting courtside.
Exactly.
At the game, right?
There are no millionaires left in Mamdani's New York.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just like
I
this
wish it wasn't
moment,
happening against the Spurs, though, if I can be real. Because, listen, I know you probably are now, you've bought into this anti-Wemby narrative, but like Greg Popovich is a real one.
I love
like
Pop.
he's got good politics and like I love Tim Duncan, I love David Robinson. Like Steve Kerr was a Spur. Like I feel like the Spurs are, and I love the city of San Antonio. I really do. Like I wish they were doing this to Oklahoma City.
So this is my one rebuttal to that, because I agree with you on all that. Like it's a well-run organization. Pop is like one of the best coaches in like pro sports period history. Like
and people like
just
far
seems like a
away
great,
observation. I've never met him, but
just seems to be like a great guy, and they've had great teams. But they've won 5 titles since 1999. When they beat the Knicks in '99, they've won 4 more after that. Like, and so like,
sure, they've had enough.
And like as a Yankee fan, I say it's like they've had their success. Like
I
they've
just
enjoyed
wish,
it.
You know what?
Like,
I wish it was the
share
Lakers.
around.
I wish it was a team that I could like I can't actively hate the Spurs. I actively hate the Lakers. The
Celtics,
the Thunder, Celtics. Like there are teams that I again, peace and love to people in those towns, but it's like the Spurs are just to me not. It's like the Mariners beating the
Brewers.
National League. The Brewers. There we go.
But the Brewers haven't won a bunch of. If the Brewers had won a bunch of World Series in recent years,
that's
sure. That's really
to
what
me.
it is.
To me, it's not about how the rich getting richer. But all that is to say, I'm very very happy for your.
Thank
what
you.
is it? All that is to say. That's our. That's our new catchphrase.
Put it on the bingo card.
But no, I'm super happy for you, John. Again,
thank you.
And I didn't have the heart to tell you that I had a lot of money riding on that Monday night game against you. But then it was a perfect crime because the Spurs won. I cashed out, and then I was full on Knicks head for Game 4.
Talk about perfect crimes. I'd be happy to the detriment of the listeners to get into all the reasons why Game 3 was stolen from the Knicks, but we don't have to do that because that'll be very boring and tedious and very frustrating.
I would agree that there were some questionable calls in that game.
Some? Yeah, all right.
I'm
not gonna get into it.
I'm really interested in hearing.
My John is bitter. Julio is a good hitter.
Hey. By the way, I saw that Mina interviewed Julio for one of her podcasts.
I saw that too. That was
but I haven't watched it yet. I'm sort of saving it.
It's really cute, actually, if I could say that. Yeah.
John, what are your plans for watching the game? I'm excited for you. Like I thought the game was tonight. You told me before the show that it's on Saturday, so now you have a whole nother day to plan for it. And like I don't know if FOMO is the right word for it, but like I almost like was drafting off of what I presume your energy is, because right now is the golden moment. Like it's a weekend game that you can just spend your time planning for. What are you planning on doing?
Honestly, like just low key. Like I'm gonna be in my basement. Probably with one or both of my dogs.
Is this kind of like me in the Super Bowl in that I need to be, although I wasn't for the last one, but generally speaking, if it's an important game, I kind of actually don't want to be socializing. I think Andrew and I have talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of Andrew's speed as well.
I don't think it's quite that level, Luke. Like I know you've talked about that, but I think for me it's more like I definitely have friends I could watch it with in the Twin Cities or go to a bar and like be a bunch of randos, but like maybe it goes back to like the whole like me having FOMO of like missing, like I'm not in New York, like when you know, and I feel like if I was around like a bar of Knicks fans, hell yeah. And but for me, like I don't know, it's also different than the Super Bowl. It's not guaranteed the last game. Like if they lose, they still have potentially two more games.
Yeah.
And so it's like I just want to like be in my own space, maybe have, you know, a Ham's beer or 3 or 5.
Refreshing.
And from the land of blue waters. And you know, and just like kind of like chill out and just like kind of enjoy it if it happens. If it doesn't happen, be like, okay, go game 6, we go home and we clinch it there, kind of thing.
Which in its own way would be pretty
yeah.
sick.
I mean, I want them to close it out. I want the Spurs like, because they're such a talented team. I don't want them to like get any confidence. I know you're talking about you're not a pendulum guy. I don't want them to feel like they can win it. So if they win this game, I still think the Knicks will win it, but like I'll feel a little less good. So I just need them to go into San Antonio, take care of business, and be done with it, like kind of thing.
So I didn't know that you're a basement dweller as well. So like, what is your kind of what is your basement like? What's the setup? And you mentioned that the dogs are down there. Like I still haven't.
Andrew at some point will move back to the Midwest purely for rumpus room purposes. He's a big Midwest basement guy.
But I love the energy of the dogs being with you too. You know, I can't bring Lucy down into our basement space quite yet, and so I sort of don't have that. But like when you're watching a game, like, and you have a certain amount of energy, I imagine there are moments of frustration. You're yelling at the TV. I would assume, maybe I have you wrong on that. Like, are the dogs kind of like getting excited when you're getting excited? Are you sitting on sort of a couch that has one arm maybe torn up a little bit? Is there a dartboard that is in a place that would be completely unusable?
I have been
but it's
in John
hanging
and
on.
Jess's home, and there is no chance of a torn up couch.
Oh no, is it? It's really nice down there. Oh,
very
okay.
put together joint.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to be insulting.
No, I'm sorry to let you down. It's not like a traditional kind of rumpus room in any way. It's just like we have like an L-shaped couch and like facing the TV and some bookshelves and some other
How long
stuff
would it
down
take you to chew through the arm of like one of the arms of that couch?
If I get Manon's help, probably pretty quickly.
And Benny,
We'll see how
those
Josh Hart
chompers.
is shooting.
Yeah, but no, I think it's as far as like my vibe, like so. A very common experience in our household, whether there's a game on or not, is like Jess will go upstairs and read in bed, and I'll kind of like go downstairs and play some PlayStation or hang out or ever watch a game or something. And so like I was not freaking out because like the other night, I was not freaking out because one, the Knicks were getting just
what was
smashed
your?
for the whole.
Can I just ask John, what was your kind of emotional journey with that game for folks? For like the 3 people who don't know. The Knicks had the largest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals. They were being decimated by the Spurs.
Yeah.
What was it, 29?
29 was the biggest deficit, and they were down 20 going into the fourth.
Like, did you assume at 29 that the game was over?
I don't know. Like, do any sports fan assume their team is all forever? I mean, like, it's obviously
No, because I didn't.
Huge...
I mean, I'm a lifelong Knicks fan, obviously. But I was like, if they can get it, I kept thinking like, if they can get it, I told you this in a text.
Yeah.
If they could get it to 10 at any point with like more than 7 minutes left, they've got a chance. And they kept not doing that. It was the weirdest comeback because it wasn't like they went on a crazy run. They were just chipping away in this almost imperceptible way until you look up and it's like, oh my God, they're only down 6.
Yeah. And not to bore listeners who are not like, doing so much sports talk already at the beginning of the show. It really was just like an example, classic example of youth first experience. So obviously neither of these teams have been as comprised now have been in the finals. And there's a couple players. There have to be some players who have championship experience. Now that I'm thinking about, OG Anunoby, like one with Toronto a few years back, but he actually didn't play because he, I think, had ruptured his spleen, so he missed like that whole playoff run or something like that. But anyway, but like. But the Knicks just generally are a much older team, been in the league longer, and the Spurs shot themselves out of the game. Like it was just like as much as it was the Knicks climbing back and chipping away, it was the Spurs gave it away, really. But so like it's to answer the question of like I don't know, I just was like I'm watching it, I'm texting with my friend, like I have different threads going, I'm like texting with my buddies. And like everyone's very bleak and dour, and I'm like checking Blue Sky, and it's like, oh, this game's over. And then, like, just slowly, you're like, you know what? All right, they're only down 15, and there's 10 minutes or whatever it was. And it's like, this is doable. And so my emotions were like, I had a softball game earlier that night. I get home, which we won, by the way, 8-3. I was 2 for 2, no big deal.
The TBTL Senior Sluggers.
Senior Sluggers, yeah. I get home and like right before tip off, so I watch the first half, and then I come upstairs at halftime to jump the shower because I'm obviously discussing. And Jess is like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like literally the worst finals game ever." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Like I get changed, I get showered, I get dressed, and I go back downstairs. I put on one of my Knicks shirts,
nice,
and then the Knicks proceed to like do this thing. So I went from like it wasn't like acceptance, but I was just like, I mean, obviously I'm gonna watch, but the chances aren't good. And then yeah, it just progressively just got more and more exciting.
How would you feel about your colleague Luke Burbank going to New York City next week and staying literally at the Knickerbocker Hotel, possibly, which is not at Madison Square Garden, it's in Times Square essentially, but I'm going to be staying at the Knickerbocker Hotel next week in New York starting on Monday, and there is a very real chance that I might be there I'm there till Thursday for a clinching game for
so if
your
they
New
go
York
back
Knicks.
for Game 6.
Do you want me to run around like with you on FaceTime? Can I?
No.
Do you want me to carry a laptop like Genevieve
can you
did at my
actually-
swearing in at the Eagles? Of you just
Can you
putting
actually do this?
Yes.
Can you print out a picture of my face and wear it as a mask?
Absolutely.
Oh.
The TS
God.
now
Hey,
the
can you do me a
TSA has
favor
asked me
and
to
not
stop
do
doing
that? Yeah.
But once I land, once I get to LaGuardia, I will don that and then take it off. And try to ban me, James Dolan, with my Sklarov mask.
Yeah,
on.
wear that through TSA as well.
Andrew did not like that.
See how that goes. Yeah, just the actual thought of that. Let me ask you guys one more question, because you were mentioning how, like, if there was like a good Knicks bar that, you know, had all the energy, you'd go there. What do you got? Keep in mind, I only really know.
I know where I'm watching it, by the way.
What's
the Knicks bar. I'm going to Jimmy's Corner Bar.
Oh, nice.
In Times Square. That's the ultimate place to watch it.
Do you guys think basketball is the sport that is kind of the best to watch in a bar? Like, because I only know baseball and football. I think I would go out of those two. I'd probably rather watch baseball in a bar than football. Like, if I really want to see the game, I feel like it really benefits me to be, you know, in my own space watching it.
Yeah.
I've, you know, watched both, but baseball you can get away with more just having it out in a bar. But I always see these shots of like crowds going absolutely crazy this time of year in bars during the NBA finals and during March Madness to a degree. Is basketball the bar sport?
I don't know if it's like specific to basketball. I think it's more the situation because it's the finals. Like I think people go to the bars. So I mean, well, Super Bowl, I guess it's like parties or whatever. But baseball, like I don't know. Like I think
baseball doesn't feel like a bar sport to me, for whatever reason. I mean, obviously people go watch the game at bars, but to me, it's like I feel like football, because it's so associated with it's always on a weekend, generally speaking, and you know, drinking and like partying around the football game. It has a lot of energy, but honestly, like again, John, I know you want them to just close it out in San Antonio, but man, dude. To be in Manhattan, to be on a warm June evening. Yeah. That's the thing, too, with the NBA Finals. If you think about it from a weather standpoint, and this isn't really answering your question, Andrew, about bar stuff, but just like, I feel like Manhattan, well, all 5 boroughs, maybe not Staten Island, but all 4 of the 5 boroughs are going to just be an open air street party, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think, John? Like, I mean, again, I hope for you that they close it out, but man, I'm not going to be sad if I get to be in Manhattan when they win this thing.
I think you're right. I also think that's going to happen regardless. People are like, they're so celebratory over this, and because it is like your summer, and again, it's back to New York being such a joyful place right now. And I should, because just so no one sends me an email, there is another NBA team within New York City. The Brooklyn Nets exist.
Oh, right. Forget about them. How weird,
exactly,
by the way.
Exactly. So
that's but that's so strange because I mean, by the way, they have a really sick facility they play at. They're in Brooklyn, which is a cool place to be. You know what I mean? Like,
wait a second.
That was like that's
there
a reverse.
Are 2 basketball teams in New York after all of that you just said.
There's 3 actually. Yeah. Well, there's the WNBA team as well.
Yeah,
no, but I mean
NBA
teams.
NBA, yeah. Technically, okay. So here's the thing, Andrew. Though the Nets. Well, actually, I think they started in New York way back in the day when they're in the ABA before there was the ABA NBA merger. Okay. Then they were the New Jersey Nets, and they were the New Jersey Nets until the mid 2000s.
R.I.P. Kerry Kittles,
or maybe like 2010s. And so it's like they moved to Brooklyn, and it's like Jay-Z got involved, and we're gonna be the cool,
which is,
but it's like it's not a real thing.
Which is the reverse. It's the reverse come up because usually what happens with pro sports, as we're I hope we're not going to see in Chicago right now with the Bears is it seems like the movement for pro sports team is from urban centers to like suburban and ex-urban places because they can build big stadiums and have lots of parking, and like, you know, the Dallas Cowboys don't play in Dallas, and obviously the Giants and the Jets, they don't play
They play in Jersey.
They don't play in New York City. So you have this rare thing where the deeply uncool New Jersey Nets, and by the way, Kerry Kittles is alive. I was just trying to make
I was
good. Like the deeply uncool New Jersey Nets move to Brooklyn. They have a stadium, Barclays Center, at the Atlantic Street subway station, and Jay-Z is involved. You could not have a cooler thing happening. And I literally forgot for 2 years until you reminded me, John, that the Brooklyn Nets exist.
Right. Because the last time they were relevant as like a competitive team, they were in the NBA Finals.
Jason Williams was shooting
Jason Kidd.
Jason Williams was shooting a limo driver.
Oh, Jason. Oh, that Jason. I think I meant white chocolate.
Oh,
Jason
that
Williams.
kind of
There's two Jason Williams.
There's two Jason Williamses in the
yeah.
NBA. One of them shot a limo driver. The other one's daughter is an elite softball player.
Yeah.
By the way,
his
have you seen
nickname
that
is
whole
white chocolate.
craziness?
Yeah, down in Florida.
It's wild.
But they were less relevant. Jason Kidd was the point guard for the New Jersey Nets, and they lost in the NBA Finals. In the
they
early
went to the
aughts.
finals. I
Yeah,
forgot
they
about
lost.
that.
They got swept, I think, by the like that was like the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. So like they had no chance. And so it's one of those things. That was the last time as a franchise they were really relevant in the league, and then they kind of nobody cares about them. They go to Brooklyn, Jay-Z, yada yada, and like everyone's like, okay, because they're still they're still like a bad team, and so they just like they exist, but nobody. They're not, like I said, the Knicks are like New York's team. Like
Was Brevin Knight a net?
Probably he bounced around the. You could be thinking of Devin Harris, not Brevin, but Devin Harris was.
By the way,
maybe Brevin Knight was.
I don't know if you're old enough for this now, John,
Cleveland
but it's
Cavs.
crazy for me when I learned that Dylan Harper is Ron Harper's son.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why are they showing Ron Harper so much?
Yeah, and then
I
his
was like,
brother
oh my
also
god,
played.
his son is on the like. And pretty soon it'll be the grandkids of people that I watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guys that were players of my era now, not only their kids are retiring. You know what I mean? Like they're like Tim Hardaway Jr. Is he in the league anymore?
He is. I think he's with Dallas still.
Okay.
But yeah, I heard you saying like Glenn Robinson the third is like around. Yeah, Andrew. Just so you know, so this kid Dylan Harper, who's a rookie on the San Antonio, and he's awesome. Like this kid is gonna be like he was the second.
Did you
overall
see the
draft
look
pick.
on his face when OG did the putback, dude? That is like, remember in Princess Bride when they're trying to find Wesley and they hear the sound of eternal suffering or whatever it is. They're like and Inigo is like, that is a man who has lost everything. That's the look on Dylan Harper's face when the putback goes in.
Yeah. No, he's very emotive. There's been several times throughout this series where he makes very funny faces. But Andrew, just so you know, his dad played with Michael Jordan and like won a bunch of titles. He played in the league aside from that, and so now he's this like rookie phenom for San Antonio, and it's like. Yeah, it is a mark of getting old for sure.
Well, I've been doing some research over here. There are no good options for a Knicks bar in the Twin Cities. Sorry, I really thought I was going to be able to like. Well, I mean, I'm just googling while you guys are talking. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Some people are going to Tom's Watch Bar, which I didn't realize that's a national chain. Because I think I went to one of those.
Turn the Nook into a Knicks bar.
Ooh, yeah.
Put a K in front of that.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
The Canuck.
Yes. Like Taylor Swift.
Isn't that where Joe Mauer once hit a
like,
home run off the building?
Yeah, it was definitely Joe Mauer. Yeah, it was definitely Joe Mauer. I'd bet everything on that. I would bet everything on that.
No, I could definitely every bar I'm sure will have the game on, and like I could go to the bar, but it's like I'll be like the Knick fan.
Yeah,
rooting.
you want
know what I mean? So
you
like
want your
that's
people. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, so it's, if I'm not going for my, and I appreciate that, Andrew.
Well,
the
I
Twin
promise
Cities,
I'll be FaceTiming you whether you want it or not, John. I actually was a little worried the other night when I was texting you at the critical moments of that game of Game 4 because I was like, you know, we don't really talk about basketball a lot. You probably have real basketball friends. We work together. I was like, I don't know if John needs me saying that like Josh Hart really missed the block out on that play. Was that annoying to you?
No,
Okay.
no. But
because I'm very sensitive when I'm in an intense sports moment. As we talk about on the show a lot, if Durs says the wrong thing to me, I will drive to Seattle and fight him. So I didn't want to be adding to your anxiety when the Knicks were in that kind of critical moment of Game 4.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not. That's why it's not like me with you with the Super Bowl. It's not the same for me. It's just like I mean, I definitely get like very into it and like very emotional. Although, like I said, like because I thought Jess was upstairs sleeping, like and I am a non in the basement. I want her to freak out. I was like, yeah, like doing a lot of like stunted yells and stuff.
Yeah, wow.
You know, but she was jumping up every time I jump up because she's like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
I love that.
But so like I
how are the dogs handling it? Do they sense your energy?
I think just during the game. Like I think they just like
And they're Knicks fans too, or are they Spurs?
Yeah,
fans?
obviously.
Not monogamy.
I mean, they'll root for the Wolves too,
Kids-
because the canine brethren. But
Yeah,
you know.
kids like to be rebels.
Sure.
Manon is like, I am a Spurs fan.
Right.
Oh no, that would not stand.
That would not fly.
I'd be in the backyard building a doghouse for her to sleep in.
Well, congratulations again
Thank
on all
you.
the success so far, and go Knicks. And again, love to our listeners in San Antonio.
Yeah,
I said this the other day.
sure.
It's like for every thrilling all-time comeback, there is a depressing all-time letdown. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I hope we're not dancing on anyone's
The
grave.
only Spurs fan that I know of in our audience sent me a photo of him wearing actually a really cool Spurs T-shirt at an airport bar yesterday, and I got to say I was like, oh wow, I really like that font. I could see getting into this team, but then I realized it was Sean, the Astros fan, who texted me "Go Astros" after after they just in the most painful sports moment of my life.
Also, by the way,
he
if you're an
texted me "Go
Astros fan,
Astros."
you have a team. They're called the Rockets.
And so
It's true.
Like, what is this?
So
you don't
I
get
would
to
go
pick and
Knicks.
choose.
Is my point.
Yeah, I'll say too, as Spurs fans, like I'm glad you had Tim Duncan in 5 championships. Let me enjoy this. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes. Can New York finally get a W?
Yeah, right. And the Spurs with Wembanyama and this young core are probably going to win 8 championships in the next decade. So
I
like,
don't know.
just
I
give me a
heard
break.
someone call him Slender Man, and I
Yeah,
thought
that's
he
one of
may
his
never
nicknames.
recover from that.
No, that's like I think he embraces it. He wore
really?
Slenderman outfit one year for like Halloween or something.
The last thing I'll say about this, because we should move on to our big announcement,
Yeah.
which is exciting. But like, it's really funny to watch the sort of like life cycle of someone's image online when they're heavily in the public eye, and by that I mean the narrative on Wemby has been this guy brings a book everywhere, like a physical book. He has really good politics. He speaks multiple languages. He was in Central Park doing a pencil drawing of a statue or something the other day. Like he's just, so that's been the narrative. But then it's like he pushes Brunson down kind of aggressively. He does some other stuff. He chokes. And then I'm hearing people say like, it's also performative, like him drawing a statue and him like whatever. Like, and now it's just like, I see this sort of like Wemby is, he choked, and also like it's all, we get it. Stop carrying a book around everywhere. Like it's performative Wembiness. Like it's so funny to see
He's
him go
carrying
from
around
just
the
like,
man inside me.
do I have that?
Because no, that is the book from Arrested Development, which Luke, you actually have a real prop from the set, right? Which is it a blank
Somebody,
book inside?
a listener. It's the South Beach Diet is the actual book.
Right.
By coincidence or by whatever happenstance. Yeah, a listener who worked on Arrested Development in the props department brought me a copy of Tobias Funke's book, The Man Inside Me, from the show that he was, I think maybe he's signing them or something. There's a bunch of them. So I had to basically create a number of these books. But of course, there's no actual book. So it was a book jacket. And it's on the South Beach Diet. It's the book that's inside of the Tobias Funke, The Man Inside Me.
That's what I want Wemby carrying around New York.
That would be such a pull.
I don't hate him. I think he's a good guy, and he'll be really dominant for a long time. But he's playing dirty. Yeah.
That's one of your things that you'd like to take issue with about Game 3, I would imagine. But hey, you know what? You guys got Game 4. That's awesome. And and go Knicks. All right, my friends. Let me just take a moment here to activate the official big news is about to happen on TBTL sound effect. We are going to be, I don't want to use the word conducting. That sounds too clinical. We are going to be celebrating the TBTL-a-Thon 17, July 13th through 17th in Valley City, Ohio.
You said it right.
As part of, I was tempted to say it wrong, but I didn't feel like this was the moment for it. As part of This is very real. The Valley City Frog Jump Festival, where we will be entering a frog and trying to win. I got a lot of money. I got a lot of Polymarket bets on this.
Oh my God.
Where we will be entering a frog.
Let's name our frog Kalshi.
In the we need to name the frog Kalshi, I think. It's an early front runner for what we're naming the frog. We will be in Valley City, Ohio, taking part in the Valley City Frog Jump Festival, and also, and this is maybe the most insane part of it all, Andrew, broadcasting from
my former elementary school. So, folks,
Liverpool Elementary School.
So this is amazing sort of how this worked out. As we were talking about what we wanted to do with the Thon this year, we were looking at our calendars, and I realized that I had mentioned growing up, obviously I've mentioned a lot growing up in Valley City, Ohio, which is like a rural community about an hour, I want to say about an hour south of Cleveland. And all of my childhood memories were made there. And I also have mentioned before that they have this thing called the Summer Frog Jump, or I guess just the Frog Jump competition. And I grew up thinking it was the only, the motto of Valley City at least was the frog jump capital of the United States. So I grew up with a pride in that, although I've never actually attended one of the frog jump competitions before. And so we were looking at our calendars and we're like, well,
that
actually,
changes this summer
we could do our usual week of special broadcasts. We'll stream them live on YouTube. We'll take calls like we usually do, all of that. And we can do it from Valley City in the week leading up to the actual frog jump competition, which would be on what? That would be Sunday the 19th?
Yes.
And so we'll be doing the show from Valley City, Ohio. And then as you were poking around, Luke, looking for places to actually set up shop for the week, you spoke to some contacts in Valley City, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll put you in the community center. And then we quickly realized that the community center is my former grade school, which I've always wanted to go back and see the inside of. I'm sure it's very, very different now because it does sort of serve a different community purpose. But, we're going to be in one of the classrooms that I potentially had to put my head down on the table because we were being too rambunctious, and I could probably still smell that cleaning solution.
Did you
that
guys
the
play Heads
custodian
Up
used.
7 Up in Ohio? Was that a thing?
Yes, 7 Up, exactly, that kind of thing. I can
that
still
game.
smell. I can smell the desktop from that. Or did you guys have to put your head down also, just as like a way of the teacher controlling the classroom from time to time? Like, you guys are too rambunctious.
I don't remember that, but I
down.
remember it being when we would play Thumbs Up, 7 Up, or whatever we called it. That would be Heads Down.
Yeah.
Heads down, thumbs up. That's exactly where I thought you were going with it too, Andrew. That's my memory of putting my head on the desk.
Ours was much more punitive.
This is exciting, but also, Andrew, I am, you've said on the show before that nostalgia is a powerful drug for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are, I'm trying to imagine if we were doing this listen, I've cried at sitting by a tree that I once planted. Like, if we were doing this at Daniel Bagley Elementary School, if we were doing this from the classroom where Mrs. Wharton used to give me detention and then eat an entire apple, including the core, while having unbroken eye contact
Power
with me,
move, yeah.
it would be a lot. We are going back to not just the Cleveland area, which is very, sort of associated with your childhood, but literally Valley City, Ohio. This is going to be a lot for you.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to it. There's another layer of this, too, which we don't have to get into. I don't know how much it'll come up on the show, but we're staying in Cleveland right around the corner from my high school, too, and that's a coincidence, but we're staying kind of in that area. So also, I'll be able to show you guys Dave Thomas Arena, a.k.a. the parking lot behind the Wendy's, where kids used to get in fights after school, and it's going to be a lot of, I'm going to be able to show you guys a lot of the places where a lot of my stories have taken place.
This is going to be a journey into the sort of origin story of you.
Yeah, but we are literally going to enter. I was kind of goofing on top of you while you're talking about this, Luke. We will be going out. So we have a couple of guys named Dave who are sort of our guides on this journey.
90% of the men in Valley City are named Dave.
That's right. And so the Daves are going to be taking us out early in the week to catch our frog. So that's how it works. They go out. They get a bunch of people to go out, and you can either you can sort of adopt one of the frogs that they catch the night before the frog jump, or you can bring your own frog to the frog jump. And so the Daves are going to take us out into the fields and bogs of Valley City, Ohio.
I hear the
on
golf
Monday
course
or Tuesday.
is where they get a lot of the frogs from. which
but
is
they call the golf course is called the Pond and Bog Golf Course. So that's where I was.
I don't want
us
us to get a golf course frog because I feel like it's not going to.
It's gonna be too posh.
Exactly. It's not. It's going to be like the blonde kid from Karate Kid. We need a Ralph Macchio frog. We need a frog that everyone has counted out, that nobody expects anything from.
Absolutely.
And that, you know what I mean? So we need to find us a streetwise, underestimated frog for this.
Working class frog.
Thank you.
Yes, but then also we do need to find a little top hat and cane for our frog as well for later
You want
on.
him to be from the WB ads?
Yeah, a jacket with tails.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime girl.
Now, you would think that I would have an answer to this, but I have a question for you guys. Can either one of you, because I still can't, after the numerous meetings we've had on this topic and us planning our entire financial future around this week, I still don't know how one wins a frog jump. I've watched videos of people getting down on the ground, kind of smacking the ground to get their frog to jump. Is it how high the frog jumps? Is it how far the frog jumps? Is it panache? Do they take into consideration panache?
Can I be
highly
very
subjective.
clear? Our financial future is not actually tied to Kalshi winning or not. It's
God,
tied to the
don't.
donors.
Andrew just meant the thon generally, but thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, I just want to be real
Thon.
clear. We're not taking the donations that people are giving us and putting it all on
No.
Kalshi.
In fact, yesterday I said to
That's
John,
not my
I was like, dude,
understanding.
you should do one of these poly markets. I was texting with John. I was like, these poly markets are just crazy from a kind of data standpoint. And John said, I don't really think that's a thing I want to get into because I don't know if I would get out of it in a healthy way. And I was like, yeah, let's not give the guy with all the passwords
No
a
kidding.
gambling problem. So yes, the financial future of TBTL rests on the Thon itself, but we do not have any money riding. And by the way, no frogs will be harmed.
No.
For my fellow intrusive animal empathy heads out there, they catch the frogs. They take very good care of them. We're going to take very good care of our frog. And then after the jump, which you're right, Andrew, unclear how it's really, if it's distance, if it's height, what it is. But then we will release them back to the golf course or the mean streets of wherever they're from. So yeah, this is I'm going to be even more than winning the frog jump. For me, the important thing is that our frog is untraumatized by this. That's a big deal for me.
Yeah, and this frog is, we're like I mentioned before, a lot of people just get their frog the night before the frog jump, but we're gonna get this frog a little bit earlier in the week and care for this frog and take it on walks. I assume. I don't know about the potty training, but we're gonna.
I swear to God, if
care
this
for it.
frog picks up a condom,
Oh my God,
I am. I'm out.
I know.
You're not allowed to walk the frog. Every time you walk an animal, Andrew, it comes back with some disgusting sex item.
Now I am picturing our frog with a little spiked leash or a little spiked collar on a little leash as we walk it down Main Street. But anyway, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this, and now we can talk about it more and more. That's always one of the toughest things for me in the lead ups to these thons is as we're making plans in the background, not being able to tell the listeners right away what we're cooking up, and now that we're cooking it up, we can continue to cook it up with the listeners in mind. And by the way, I mean, we're not holding any kind of special event or anything at the frog jump. It's just the frog jump. That is the event. But if people are in the area and want to swing by the Valley City frog jump and root for our frog, which I don't know if we've locked into that name already.
Pavilion.
I do think that they have
the Daves
some
are
space
giving
carved
us some
out.
kind of a little space. So I think that's an important detail too. Like if you're going to be anywhere near Valley City on the 19th of July, Sunday the 19th, come out to the frog jump. We will be there with a frog.
Yeah.
And we would love to say hi. And I think there is going to be a little kind of area where tens can kind of get together and hang out and chat it up and talk to us and that whole thing. So
If Lisa wants to bring a buzzball, bring a buzzball.
That made the party last time.
Actually, do we know? Are you allowed
I don't
to
think
bring
anyone consumed any part of the buzzball.
No. Are you allowed to bring buzzballs to the frog jump? Actually, it occurred to me.
If you're freaking cool.
you roll up on a car
that's a no for us?
that rolls on buzzballs.
There's the answer that Dave's will give you, and then there's the answer that
Right.
cool Uncle Luke will give you, which is just be chill about it.
And then there's the answer that the brown paper bag will give you that
I want to see
shields the label
just
of
a
the
round globular paper bag. I want to see someone enter a green buzzball in the frog jump. Actually, buzzball would be an okay name.
I like that.
For a frog. So
Kalshi, buzzball.
Yeah, Kalshi, buzzball. something involving twisted tea. I don't. They don't have to all be alcoholic. Oh, I don't know what the process
They're all
is.
vices.
We haven't. Yeah, right. We haven't. Right, calci being a vice. We haven't decided exactly on what the name for the frog will be, or even how we're gonna decide that. But if anyone has ideas, feel free to send them in.
Sure.
If you have ideas for the name of the TBTL frog, you can email us.
Actually, why don't you do
TBTL
that? That'd be fun. Maybe John. Why don't you send some ideas to John? Would you mind kind of fielding those, John? And maybe we can
happy
get
to.
you on maybe
Happy
next
to.
week or
That's
something.
JON at TBTL.net.
Yeah.
That's right. No,
I do think part of it, I think it was Andrew, you said this when we were talking about, maybe it was you, Luke, I apologize if it was. It's like a pet. Like you can't name it till you know it kind of thing. I think. So actually, if we have a bunch of names, that if people send me a bunch of ideas, we have like a good selection. Be like, oh, you do look like a buzzball, or you do look like a calci. Like we
There's
can
a
like
ring
really
to that buzzball.
There
I like the alliteration. So that's the big announcement. July 13th through 17th, we will be in Valley City, Ohio. As you mentioned, Andrew will be live streaming the show per usual on the Thon week, so people will be able to call in and
the time
and
will
stream
be
the show.
10 a.m. West Coast time, 1 p.m. East Coast time. You can do the math in between those times, but that's when we'll be doing the live streams on YouTube, on our usual YouTube channel. We'll have a link to it at TBTL.net each day.
Yes, and then again, the 19th, we will be at the Frog Jump. So if you are in the Midwest and you want to come out and say hi and hang out at the festival, come say hi to us. We'll be there. So, yeah, that's the big announcement. A slightly less important announcement, Andrew, is that I have officially lost my mind. And I texted you about this yesterday, and you were like, I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, when I told you I need to update you on Tim Heidecker's Keith Urban joke.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to?
So a couple of days ago, when I was talking about I'm going to go interview Keith Urban next week in Nashville, you said something about, well, how is he doing that country music when his name is Urban?
I said you should ask
country.
him, if it was an issue, he should be Keith Rural because he does music that appeals to rural, America. John, you don't have to laugh at that. I know that it was.
And I'll be honest, it's a pretty lousy joke, and that's why I was so surprised when I was on Office Hours Live as a very background character, and then Tim Heidecker made the same joke. He said Keith Rural. And then I told you about that yesterday, Andrew, and I guess that was kind of a affirmation of your joke. I mean, if the great Tim Heidecker made the same joke, that must mean there's some merit to it. And then I did something I don't do a lot, but because I'm not on that show, I've never been on that show before, and I was fairly geeked up about it. I decided to go watch it on YouTube just to see if I looked and sounded as nervous as I felt.
And did you?
And it's very hard to assess that. I think I can really hear some nerves in my voice, but probably somebody who's not me would be a better judge of that. Mm-hmm. But the truly astonishing thing, Andrew, was it wasn't Tim Heidecker who made the Keith Urban, Keith Rural joke. It was me. The call was coming from inside the Burbank. And I completely, in my mind... Again, I was in a bit of a fugue state, I guess. I totally thought that Tim Heidecker had said to me something about Keith Rural. No, you can just hear me quietly saying, yeah, Keith Rural, almost like half off mic as they're moving on.
Oh, interesting. And you didn't.
It was not Tim Heidecker. It was me. I stole your joke.
But you didn't. And first of all, okay, let me tell you what I thought it was going to be. When you said yesterday that Tim Heidecker said that joke, I was like, yeah, but even me, I was saying that joke to be corny. And if Tim said that joke, he was doing it as a bad joke to say. That's why I wasn't complimented by that, because I was like, yeah, because he's making a bad joke, as did I. But it turns out you stole a bad joke.
Stole your valor.
But it's not even valor, it's shame. You stole my shame, which is actually kind of good.
That means less shame for you.
But how did you set it up at all, or did you just sort of mumble Keith
I
Rural?
just sort of mumbled
That to me is the funniest part of this whole thing.
Quietly in the background of the show.
It's
so bad. Tim Heidecker says, who's the last person you interviewed? And I, as I said on the show yesterday, I completely blanked out. And I said, well, I can tell you that I'm going to be interviewing Keith Urban next week. And there was kind of a little, and then I said, and then Tim is literally moving on. And you just hear me background going more like Keith Rural or something. It's so bad. It's so terrible. It's like it is the. And also, you asked me yesterday on the show, Andrew, how I felt I did, and I said, well, I made no impact, which I was okay with.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it's better than if I embarrassed myself with a bad joke. And then I went back and watched it, and I absolutely embarrassed myself with your bad joke.
Well, don't blame me for it.
Joke.
Don't blame me for it. So do you think the way you're describing it, though, a lot of people probably didn't even notice it. Probably it just went by so quickly. I was going to say, should we listen to it or would that?
Yeah, we probably
While
should.
you're looking up, can I address my big concern with this, Luke?
Yeah, will you buy us some
if,
time?
ahead of you going on, like Tim or producers or somebody was like, oh, let's check out this Luke Burbank's work, and they listened to a couple episodes of TBTL, and they heard Andrew make that joke, and then they heard you make that joke, and they're like, is he plagiarizing his own co-host? On do you think that was going through their heads at all as a possibility?
That would be an incredible attention to detail.
It's a pretty deep cut. I feel like
because you do have a history of plagiarizing Andrew. This is not the first time this has come up.
I know, but this was a weird one because I not only plagiarized Andrew. I also plagiarized Andrew and Genevieve on Wait, Don't Tell Me once.
Right.
With a Professor Bananas joke.
Oh, you just used the name Professor Bananas, right?
Yeah, but I think
we got that from 30 Rock, so that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel a little less bad. Okay, this is kind of, let's see here. Okay, this is, I think I'm Neil dropping it in roughly the right place. Tim Heidecker is talking about, I guess, Art Garfunkel went on CBS This Morning, not the show that I'm on, but the other one, and it was clearly like a pharmaceutical ad about his eczema or something. I don't know anything about this, but it's, I guess, a running bit on Office Hours because it's just like, it's so obviously SpawnCon. So Tim is kind of talking about that, about CBS, and I think he's about to get to me.
Pharmaceutical brand for this interview. I'm going to be doing. We'll see what happens.
I need some peppers, my brothers.
I'm happy to answer any questions you have, Luke.
Actually, let's see. Go back a little bit. Sorry.
Everybody was thinking of right now is onion chopping.
For a white lady.
Asshole?
Yes, here we go.
Luke Burbank, I guess, is one of these reporters. He sits down. Like, do you remember when we were watching, we were watching Art Garfunkel getting interviewed by one of these CBS morning guys about his, what's that called? He had a disease.
The skin thing. Eczema.
Hey, at least we are not the only ones who can't think of words.
That makes me feel so much better.
There's
honestly.
like 1,100 people that work on the show, and nobody could come up with eczema in the moment.
Just hearing these guys sort of low energy mumble trying to think of the word eczema makes me feel like maybe I have a future in this town.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so.
Or psoriasis.
I'm going to be out there plugging some pharmaceutical brand for this interview. I'm going to be doing. We'll see what happens.
I need some peppers, my brothers.
I'm happy to answer any questions you have, Luke. Luke, who's the last person you interviewed?
Let's see. Anthony, where were we recently?
Anthony Kiedis.
Yes, Anthony Kiedis is here, by the way. We've buried the lead on this. Well, I'm going to be interviewing Keith Urban next week, so
Cool.
that's a pretty big deal.
So you focus mostly on relevant people like Keith Urban. And
Yeah, we try to
me and
catch
people-
everybody kind of on the
on the
downswing.
On the downswing. Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
How do you like me okay. Now? All right.
How do you like me now?
Is that Keith Urban?
No.
Oh.
That's
the
Keith
late,
Rural.
great Toby Keith.
Did you ever get?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, that was good.
There's some,
that was good.
Well, let's not overuse the G word, but it's certainly not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I guess it was a response to. They were playing
yeah.
Toby Keith singing "How Do You Like Me Now," and then I'm saying that's Keith Rural.
Yeah, at least
I mean,
there
but
was
it
some
is your
structure
joke.
to it. At least there was some structure to it. Like, and honestly, and I'm not trying to be insulting here. You know that I love Tim Heidecker, and I consider him on par with me as far as comedy is concerned. But like, it is an atmosphere where people really are just throwing anything out there. Just saying Kiedis, just saying Anthony Kiedis is also not a joke. It is clearly an atmosphere where people are just throwing things out there, whatever is top of mind. Some things are going to stick and some things aren't. So honestly, hearing all of the context to that, including the Anthony Kiedis thing leading up to it, I feel like it was very much in the spirit of the moment.
Yeah, that's why. For the record, that's what I mean by good. Like the way you were initially describing it, Luke. Like like Andrew kind of joked, like you were mumbling off screen off mic. Like I was expecting to be like very quiet, like I was expecting them to have totally moved on from the subject and then just Keith, but like you were right there. Your timing was
playing with your dolls for some reason,
right? But like your timing, like it was like right in the moment, and it was like you were. It was like clear to hear.
It wasn't as
was
bad as my memory of it was.
No. But, yeah, so that's why I meant by good. It wasn't terrible.
Let's talk though about can I ask you another question, Luke?
Please.
It has nothing to do with this. It's actually about the NBA playoffs finals. It's interesting to hear you talk about this moment where you're like kind of so out of your mind that you literally had a false memory about this moment. And like I have that feeling a lot when I am having to do anything that is kind of public facing. I'm not talking about this podcast as we're recording it now.
No, we try to keep this as private facing.
We've worked very hard
great
to do
success.
that. Yes, exactly. Congrats to us.
Someone should do a pie chart.
Maybe
about
a
that.
little bit when we're doing it live on YouTube, but more I'm talking maybe the first few minutes on stage if we're doing a live show. But even anything under the TBTL umbrella, I feel a little bit of more comfort with these days because I'm with you. We've been doing it for a while. You're very comfortable on stage, so I always, I mean, not to sound weird about it, but I'm in good hands or whatever. But in moments where I have to, much lower stakes, like give a toast at a small gathering, or I'm even thinking, I think I mentioned to you that I can't remember if we've updated the listeners on this, but I've got to interview my friend about his book at a brewery later this month. I'll give the date out on that side. Don't want to give out too many announcements in one show, but like I can imagine, I'm assuming that the first like at least 5 minutes of that, if not the entire time, my head is going to be swimming. I'm going to have almost this out-of-body experience. Oh, like when I read that poem at my friend's wedding a couple of years ago, I referenced that recently. Like my level of nervousness can only be described as like I leave my body in a certain way. And then when I come back to my body does not feel super good, to be honest with you, in some of these cases. So the fact that you even had a little bit of that, you were like kind of so out of your mind in this little moment, that must not happen to you very often.
It doesn't, and it's funny because this was the one that really got to me, as compared to some other things that I have done that would be arguably, I guess, more people watching or listening or something. It's actually funny. I didn't realize in the moment, but they were playing. One of them was playing the "Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me" music.
Oh,
did you catch that
no,
in the
I
background
did.
when
You
they
know
were
what I didn't.
When they were tossing to me? Because there's just so many people playing so many sound effects.
Well,
So
that's kind of cool too. So yeah, they did a little bit they knew who you were coming in.
I think like Vic Berger was, because again, he started following me on Instagram a few days ago. I think he was kind of tracking me a little bit. And then also some of the guys in the control room, one of them was like, I'm a big Wait, Wait fan. And it's funny because I just think of Wait, Wait, listen, I love being on the show. I'm very lucky to be on the show, but it just, if there's something that's the opposite of Office Hours Live, it feels like it's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Just a very different program for a sort of different audience, et cetera. So all that is to say, I've done things where I'm in front of like lots and lots of people or stuff that I should be more nervous about, and it doesn't really faze me. But I was deeply phased on Wednesday morning. It was really like I think it's just because I hold Tim Heidecker in such high regard, and I just wanted to be. I kept kind of thinking back to like, and I know we just talked about this not that long ago on the show, but like when I randomly was on stage with Martin Short, and he was in the person of Jiminy Glick, and it was like it was a really hard thing for me because I wanted to be funny and I wanted to be cool and I wanted him to like me, but that's not really the job of the person who's being interviewed by Jiminy Glick. And this was a little bit like that too. I felt like I just wanted them to get it that I got it or something, but I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to try too hard. Certainly did not want to. Actually, it was also hard because, most of the time the cameras and mics were all in the room that those guys were in, and I was in the control room. Only occasionally would they like cut to a different camera of the control room, and it was hard for me to not sort of be like trying to be a fifth member of the show while watching it. So they'd say something and I'd be like, oh yeah, that from that thing or whatever. And I realized I think I was getting on the nerves of the guys in the control room because I was like,
you were just sort of talking to them and no mics are on in that.
Yeah. I mean, I was really trying to be aware of what I was like, you know what I mean? I was trying to not distract them or annoy them because they were like, one of the guys is switching all the cameras all the time, which is also an interesting visual art of the show. And he's like pushing in on people and stuff. They played this insane corporate, like Microsoft corporate video about something called like Microsoft Songsmith, which is like way before AI, way before Suno and all that stuff. It was something where you could like sing into your laptop and it would just like start creating like beats and music behind it. But this is this like very long, I mean, it's right up there with like, it's your lucky day. You just found a flash drive in the parking lot kind of level of cringe. And the premise of this Microsoft ad, it might be on YouTube somewhere, is that the guy who's like the star, he's trying to figure out how to do this business pitch at his work. And what he has invented are glow-in-the-dark towels. In the corporate ad, he's trying to figure out how to pitch these glow-in-the-dark towels at his workplace. And he uses this Microsoft Song Symphony thing to sing a song, which of course gets the attention of his boss because it's out of the box, right? And somehow in the song, he sings the line, "The towels light the way," which is one of the most unhinged things I've ever heard. And there's also the other guy. So it's weird because it's supposed to be like a business meeting, but they clearly didn't want to spend on like too many extras. So it's just the boss and these two dudes. Whereas you think if you're going to do like a boardroom type of scene, you're going to hire like, 12 people to be sitting around the conference table. It's just this one dude, the guy singing about the towels light the way, and then their boss, this woman. And the other guy is looking at the towels light the way guy with such open hostility, which is not even what they're trying to, like, that's not why they cast this guy. It's just like, he's just a weird actor. They shot it wrong. Like they did this thing where they kind of Andrew, you might know this from your filmmaking days, but like there's sort of like an invisible line you don't cross with perspective on the camera of the POV of the person. So, a person is looking a certain way on camera. You don't then go to where you've crossed that invisible line. So now they're looking in kind of a different direction. It's
without
unsettling.
bouncing to something else first, like a jump cut kind of situation. Yes.
So it's like one of these kind of unwritten rules of like filmmaking. They totally violated.
Oh God!
So this guy is just like kind of looking in the wrong direction and like with like a homicidal kind of rage.
Now, is he the inventor or is he the guy?
No, he's the other. He's the guy being upstaged by the towels light the way guy.
I see, because he's got his own idea. Can we just take 1 second though? And is there a benefit to towels that glow in the dark? Is this something like actually worth exploring?
I believe it was brought up on Office Hours Live, and I was certainly thinking it not a bad product.
Like for
skinny dipping at night.
Well, I was
something, or just go into the bathroom and maybe you don't want to turn the light on because you're trying to not fully wake up. That's my move, but maybe a little light from the towels. Listen, the towels lighting the way is not a horrible product.
There are worse ideas.
In fact, I would say the glow-in-the-dark towels are a stronger product than the Microsoft Song Symphony thing.
Potentially. I need a Reader's Digest that glows in the dark for my my late night needs.
There was also a brief moment where they started playing it, and I had this thought: am I in this? Not because I thought that they had like found my work, but because I was in so many Microsoft things back in the day. No longer, which is why.
Is that really no longer, or you?
Yeah, I mean,
has that been a decision, or are we allowed to talk about this, or have you just not been invited recently, and so you're wondering if the door is closed?
I think that it's just I think I've been in enough. I don't think there's any anti-Luke sort of movement at Microsoft. There's nobody there saying we can't have Luke and stuff. I just think it's like I did a million things. I'm 50 years old. There's younger, more interesting, maybe I don't know, just like I just think things move on, and I think that they probably had me in enough things, and I'm not kind of like a bright, shiny idea in anyone's mind at Microsoft, which is completely fine.
So this is just based on the fact that like you used to do it on a more regular basis, and it's been a while since your phone rang on it. It wasn't like a contract ended or anything like that. Yeah.
No, they did not rehire me to do their like
security stuff.
Yeah, the security stuff. Which the writer of that, my buddy Kurt, he emailed me like way before, like 6 months, and he was like, yeah, I just heard from them that they're going to kind of like do a different thing for their security training. And that, they'd had me, I had done it for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. So it was a good run. I also kind of dreaded it. Like it paid really well, but it also really stressed me out. And so it's, it's one of those things where I'm sad to not have the money, but I'm also like kind of happy to not have to go do it.
Is it possible that they have so much of you your voice and personality in storage that they just do AI Luke for those
I would be
things?
so flattered. That would mean that they like me enough to rip me off, to AI
keep you
me.
alive forever.
like a modern day Ozzy Osbourne. I would be fine with that, and I would be very flattered. I think it's just more that companies like to change and move and shake things up and try new things and stuff. So I don't take it personally at all, but it also is clear to me that I'm not getting pitched in meetings there as like, oh, we could have Luke do this, because also I think like half of the people that were doing that have probably also moved on from Microsoft. Like I think I had a few, a sort of people that were advocating for me there who may or may not even be in those positions anymore. I really do not take it personally in any way, but when they put on a Microsoft corporate video, I was like, there's a 50-50 chance I'm in this by happenstance, not because they were like, researching my background, but because I tried out for and was in so many weird, cringe Microsoft things back in the day that were not for broadcast. They were purely for the internals of Microsoft.
I was Googling around while you were talking because I was
Did you
curious.
find the towels light the way?
No, I didn't, but I did find, and this surprises me, I found the some of these newer Microsoft videos, and this is the guy that's replaced
It
you.
may be what everyone thinks of themselves as, but I consider myself to be an absolutely dead center, normal, average American.
So that's apparently the new Luke in the Microsoft videos. So I guess they did go sort of a younger, fresher direction.
Speaking of, I'm going to be in New York next week, as I mentioned, and usually when I'm there, if they'll let me, I throw a few commentaries down. So I've been working. I was working some up on the plane yesterday. I was really getting my Andy Rooney on.
Do you address
I
swearing
want to do one
at
about
all?
the ABS system.
I don't use foul language, and I don't like to hear anyone else use it either.
You can't do one about swearing. It's already been done. What did the ABS system? What's your hot take?
My hot take. Well, I haven't fully.
What's your Subway take?
Yeah, right. By the way, that guy has a new talk show. Remember, I said he's been doing a ton of media, and I didn't know what it was for. It's because he now has something in addition to Subway Takes that's called like Tonight Pilot or something. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, my hot take on the ABS, as far as I've formed it, is it would be hard for any of us to have someone standing right next to us at all times, scientifically analyzing if we're doing a good job. Like it must, I have no particular love for the MLB umpires and their fragile egos generally, but also it must really suck to be like the call is being challenged, and then it's like you got it wrong, and then everyone erupts, and then you have to just like hunker down behind the catcher again, like having been just like massively publicly disrespected. So that's that's as far as I've gotten with the idea.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's relatable. I think about that too. Yeah.
I tend to think about strikes as being a general down the middle pitch. That's how I'm going to approach it.
In my day, what the umpire said went.
It does. I know, exactly. All of this questioning of authority is going to get us in a lot of trouble. I do really, though, it is crazy. I know.
Everybody should do what they're told.
It's so crazy how quickly you become Andy Rooney when you're trying to write one of these things, because the only way for it to be interesting, if it is going to be interesting at all, is to have a sort of a take. And it's, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like, what are you even talking about? But then the having of a take on a mundane topic, I hear Andy Rooney in my head so bad.
It's interesting.
It's so embarrassing.
I wonder how much it comes out, though. So I have a very formative professional memory, and it actually involves one of the first times I was asked to actually talk into a microphone on the radio, and it was during a public radio pledge drive, right, fund drive. And this was in New Hampshire, and I had been at the station for quite some time at this point, probably getting close to 10 years or something. So I wasn't like a new kid anymore, but I had been one of the main fundraiser producers, live on the air. Like I'd wake up and do the morning edition shift and some of the other kind of drive time shifts because I loved producing, but I was never on the radio actually talking to mics. I was writing ideas on whiteboards or what have you. And so anyway, but then my boss at one point, Mike Arnold, who was on the show at one point, said, "Hey, let's get you trained up to maybe do more of a on air midday shift, a less listened to shift or something like that. Let's just see how you are. And before I was able to do any on-air pitching, he had us do practice shifts. And I can't remember who he paired me up with, but he put us in a booth, and it was me and, a colleague who was, be my co-host or whatever, and a producer. And it wasn't live on the air, and we just did a few like fake breaks or whatever, and taped them, and then talked about them. And Mike would come in and give us feedback, and he just said like, essentially, like I was very low energy. You know how it is, Luke. Sometimes even you talk about your
I hear
first
old tapes of me, and it's like there's something about both public radio and being young. I feel like you just go low energy,
and maybe something about I say this a lot, but maybe also something about our slacker generation or something. There was something about like not wanting to seem too enthused, maybe during your first broadcast of TBTL or something. Maybe it seemed cringy or dorky or whatever holds us back. But I definitely, my insecurity was manifesting in being pretty low energy. Although I didn't feel low energy, my heart was racing even for the practice sessions. I'm nervous, but my nervousness was having me.
Keith Rural.
I was just like Keith Rural. And anyway. What Mike said, and this really stuck in my head, was, and I'm sure I've told you this story before, Luke, so maybe you know where I'm going with this. We had another colleague named John Greenberg, who was a bit older than me, and he was an editor at the station, and he was the opposite of me energy-wise. Just he wasn't like a huge character, but he comes into a room, and John's here, he's just got a lot of energy, and he brought that he's a great fundraiser, and brought that to the air. And Mike said to me, listen, when we do this again, I want you to do your impression of John Greenberg. He said, don't worry about it. You're not going to get anywhere near John Greenberg. Just do your best. You do your best to get up to John Greenberg's level. And I'm telling you, you're not going to be John Greenberg. Nobody's going to think you sound like John Greenberg.
It'll bring you up to having a pulse.
Thank you. Now I'm not feeling so great about myself again. No. And it was such good advice, because at that point, now I'm yelling it down the line at both of you guys right now. I don't need anybody to animate me, I guess, anymore. But at the time, I felt so nervous.
Greenberg.
Yes, I've achieved Greenberg velocity. But
actually, that's a good show title. Greenberg velocity. I'll write it down.
Somebody write that down. But anyway, so I can't remember how we kind of got on this topic, but I do remember just thinking if you shoot for that, you're going to find your own voice in the process. Yes. You're not actually going to. And so when you're writing these scripts or whatever you would call them, I don't think anybody's going to think boy, he really sounds like Andy Rooney, even if you sat down to write it like Andy Rooney. It's just sort of you kind of got to get a voice in your head sometimes.
Totally. Can I play for you guys quickly? I've now found it. It's Microsoft Songsmith was this program. And this is the part of the business meeting where I think the guy is about to start singing about the towels. And again, full credit to Office Hours Live. And I don't know who there exactly found this tape, but we're just playing you something that I learned about on that show this week. So go smash the like and follow button for them, because this is from them. But let's just see. I hope the volume here is not terrible.
What do you have for us?
Well, I used to open up the closet door and struggle in the dark, but now no more. With glow-in-the-dark towels, the towels light the way. You can find your guess at towel anytime, night or day.
Again, I'm just directly ripping them off, but I'm going to send that. We can't use this for our imaging because this is everything that they were using on Office Hours this week. But I'm just going to send you to a screenshot of his coworker reacting to the line, "The towels light the way." He looks so angry.
Can I ask
so unbelievably homicidal.
Was his coworker pitching something else? Because I'm interested.
Yes.
What did you tell us? What?
We can go back to that if you want me to. We can start with the coworker's presentation. Okay, so here we go. This is the coworker. Let's see what he's saying. He's not singing, by the way.
18 to 24 demographic. We can expect
I think that's plenty.
Thank you, Chip.
So boring.
That's all Chip gets out.
Oh, he needs to get
18
up
to 24 demographics. I think
Uh,
that's enough, Chip.
Yeah, somebody needs
'Cause
to
it's not
tell
a
him to
song.
be like John Greenberg. He needs to get the
Yeah.
energy
Exactly.
up. He needs to have more sizzle.
He's never
going to
be Greenberg, but if he tries for Greenberg, he'll,
Exactly. I really
That
miss
song
John.
also, the music of that towel song sounded very much like a bad take on like a mid-aughts like new Broadway production.
Or
that's a very specific thing.
Or
but,
the
like,
first try at a Cars for Kids ad.
Sure.
Let's hear it again.
What do you have for us?
Well, I used to open up the closet door and struggle in the dark, but now no more. With glow-in-the-dark towels, the towels light the way. You can find your guess at towel anytime, night or day.
all I hear is like somebody was like, take Avenue Q but make it bad. Like that's what I'm, like that's
Avenue
the vibe
Q,
I
but
get.
take out the dirty stuff.
Right, well that too. But
Take
like
out what makes it good.
that was like the vibe I'm getting there.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how to wrap that up other than to say the towels light the way. That was my so I was trying to get all ready for like I didn't know if they were going to come back to me. This is back to Office Hours Live, but like in hour number 2, I had to actually go up and kind of like sit in. They had our camera guy had set up all these lights and stuff up in a different part of Tim Heidecker's house. So I had to sit in so they could check the lighting and all this stuff. But they were still doing the show, and I was like, okay, I got to get down there for the last 5 minutes of the show in case they do like an around the horn thing and they like, you know, because I think that there's something on that show where it's like everyone recommends something at the end, like something they're watching or listening to or whatever. And I was like really ready to do a towels light the way joke if they came back to me. But just to prove I was listening.
It
and 'cause
didn't
I thought it was
manifest.
they didn't come back to me. I didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to drop that comedy knowledge on them. But you know, hopefully next time. Hopefully I made such a strong impression with my Keith Rural joke that they'll someday invite me back. So actually, it was the last thing I'll say about it was coincidentally their guest was a guy named Skylar Higley, who's this very funny stand-up comedian and writer for The Onion, who was on Livewire like. I don't know, a month ago. He was our stand-up comic. So I got to flex a little bit, and I was very careful. When he came in, I didn't say anything. But then at halftime when he came out and when Heidecker was right there, I said, oh, hey, Skylar, you were just on my radio show. He's like, oh, yeah, that was so fun. Da-da-da. I made sure it all unfolded in front of Heidecker, who then was
gaze of
Yes,
Heidecker.
Exactly.
That's right. And you
So
did
he
the
knew that I had value.
And you're like, do you remember the secret handshake I taught you on stage at Live? And you guys did the handshake, and Heidecker looked a little bit. He looked a little bit like that guy in the towels video.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he was kind of
He was
shooting
looking
daggers.
exactly like him.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine.
Well, my friends,
should we
what do
leave
you
it
think?
there?
Should we slide down that dinosaur and head
yeah.
on into the weekend?
Is there any need to reiterate the details of what we said? I guess the TBTL-a-Thon
For people
is starting.
just joining us.
For people just joining us. If you're just getting in your car, if you just dropped off your kids at school, TBTL-a-Thon 17 will begin on Monday, July 13th. Broadcasting live, literally live via YouTube and all the usual channels if you get it in your podcast feed from Valley City, Ohio, leading up to the frog jump. I wonder what year this frog jump is. We should look. I would guess that if it was like a big one, if it ended in a 0, they'd probably be building that up more.
I at some point I did look it up because I was trying to see if CBS would let me do a story about it. I think they've passed. Although, who knows, maybe in New York I'll be able to convince them. But I don't remember it being like the 5-0 or anything like that. But,
Well, we're going to be making it special. And it's really fun.
TBTL-a-Thon 17, Greenberg Velocity.
Hey,
just pitching ideas here.
Frogs are green. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ooh, actually, Greenberg Velocity would be a good name for the
Greenberg
frog.
Velocity. I like.
Maybe better than Buzzball.
Yeah, this was something that you had said in a meeting, Luke. Now I'm not even sure. There's something about us doing. I was thinking about this last night. I was like, oh yeah, I guess tomorrow's the big announcement. It's like, oh, I've given no thought to the announcement at all. Like, what are we saying? What are we not saying? But you had a good idea for naming the thon. Are we willing?
Jumping for joy.
I love that. TBTL-a-Thon 17, jumping for joy. Do we want to lock that in?
I mean, I came up with it, so I feel like I'm a little biased, but I do actually. Although, actually, I think I have the opposite of whatever the opposite of wanting to push my own ideas. Generally speaking, if I have the idea, my first thought is that's a bad idea. So, in this case, I think it's not the worst idea. TBTL-a-Thon 17, jumping for joy, because we got the frog jump. we are joyful and so happy that this is a thing we get to do for our jobs. Like, I like that idea.
My
You guys
only
really-
alternative is Frog-tastic Voyage, and I don't think that's as good.
Ooh, actually,
Come along.
that's
and
not as bad
ride
as you
on
might
a
think it is.
Frog-tastic ride.
I like. What
Slide.
What about TBTL-a-Thon 17? More like Keith Rural.
More like Keep Suburban.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we're just blue sky in here, but
Just blue sky.
definitely okay. I'm sending
All
sending
bad
you guys a
ideas.
How about TBTL-a-Thon 17? All bad ideas.
All bad ideas. It seems like that's.
I've just sent you guys both a screenshot of the guy as the Towels Light the Way is being sung, and that's just a little thing to brighten up your weekend. The two of you.
Nice.
Again, we
Nice.
can't use it for the show pick because I think it was literally the show pick for Office
Yeah.
Hours Live.
Well,
so
I sent
we're
you guys
biting the rhyme too hard.
Wemby Slender Man if you want to use that as a show pick,
Okay.
Andrew,
All
as
right,
a potential.
that sounds good. Or maybe I'll create an AI frog with a little collar and a leash, and me walking him by Liverpool Elementary School, and use up
Please
some
do
of
not
the Earth's
give him
water
any kind
supplies.
of sex toy.
No.
Good.
All right.
All right. That's gonna do it.
I don't
my
like this
friends.
vibe. Sorry, I was trying a new piece of music. That's a little bit too... Listen, this has been a fun, energetic show. We
Yes.
need some better energy.
Oh, I got
here.
one.
What
Wait,
do you- is it? Is
can
it?
I-
Can we use it? Is it
Sure.
rights free?
I mean, at this point,
Maybe.
is the Towels Light the Way rights free? We
Wait,
already
wait,
violated
If I
this.
play music, will it play?
It'll play too loudly if you want to send something to me.
Yeah, let me send you a link.
All right.
Let me send you a link.
We're gonna have
Hold
to
on.
Is
vamp
this
here
Knicks
for a little
related?
bit.
Yes.
Okay.
What do they have a song? I mean, has somebody in New York recorded that's also one of the fun things when your team does well. At least it used to be back in my day, which was somebody would write. Famously the Bears had the Super Bowl Shuffle. The Seahawks did the dumbest one because there's that song Black and Yellow that
Wiz Khalifa.
that Wiz Khalifa does,
Yeah.
and that's kind of about the Steelers because
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa's from
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And it's a great song. That song slaps.
Oh my God, this guy's so pissed about the towel song.
Right?
Sorry,
I told you, it's crazy.
Oh my God, he looks a little bit. He's got the well. This is maybe going too far, but he looks a little bit like Anton LaVey.
He does because he's got
former
like
head
a
of the
bit of a
Church
receding
Satan.
hairline and kind of a Caesar cut.
You don't want that guy mad at you. Woo! All right, okay.
Andrew, I just sent you
I got
a
it
YouTube.
here. All right.
It's a classic from the '90s. The last time the Knicks are really good.
Okay,
is actually
sounds
what
good.
it
I'm gonna
is.
start. I'm gonna start it hot here, Luke, and then we'll duck it under. Okay, let's.
This is Len?
We are the New York Knicks.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
We are the New York Knicks.
I don't think we're gonna get put down for this.
No, we're good.
It's old.
We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go.
Is that Allen Houston?
No, sadly not.
Are the Knicks in the song?
Yes.
Do they get to do they
no,
do it?
I
Do they
don't
do
think
bars?
So.
Oh, that
no,
would be
no, but
so
this
sick.
was what they would play at the Garden back in the day.
But they're lip syncing in the video, right?
Oh, are they?
I thought so. Maybe I don't know who basketball people
I
are.
didn't actually watch the video. Yeah.
Okay.
And the fans are going crazy and they're doing it for a reason. Cause 94 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all that takes. We're shooting 3-pointers and we're running fast breaks. And if you're deep,
Watch out, K-Dude and Little Hokey.
Yeah.
We're
But
shooting three-pointers.
This was actually like professionally produced. And,
Oh,
like,
it sounds like it's.
yeah,
This sounds
people-
like the sixth Beastie Boy.
Say go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go.
So you said you haven't watched the video of this, John? I feel like you should put eyes on this.
I should maybe after we
Just to get hyped on Saturday, just to get in the mood.
I'll be appropriately. hyped,
I'd
but
say
yeah.
have 3 of your hams and then watch it. It'll probably hit just right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Hey, John, thanks for being here today. We appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
man.
guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
all your work on this thon.
Of course.
And Andrew, you as well, man. You guys have both
Yeah,
been really
fun.
doing a lot of the detail stuff on this. It's going to be really, really fun, and hope everybody can tune in and critically support TPTL because these calcio bets. That's not the way to financial freedom.
Did you just
we
hear me seamlessly loop this? You ain't got nothing on me, Vic.
Whoa.
Just wanted to say.
That was seamless. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. That's going to do it for our broadcast week. We'll be back here on Monday with more imaginary radio for all of you. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Go Knicks. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
With Hubert, Bonner, Gray, and Harper, it's the Knicks, and we're back on pace. Everyone's gearing up for the championship race, and the fans are going crazy, and they're doing it for a reason. Cause 94 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all that takes. We're shooting 3-pointers, and we're running fast breaks, and if your defense makes a mistake, then bam!
power out.